It's been a minute since I've made a video. Make like a short, like 7-minute live stream here. And pretty much what I want to go over is what I call all or nothing improvement, right? And it's kind of an interesting subject, right? Like, I've kind of been like dabbling with like, moderation, things of that nature. And, kind of going back and forth between these states, I personally find it to be very confusing. You're kind of studying, but you're not really studying. People tell you that moderation is the key, right? Like, oh, you should have moderation. You should, be like this person who's a moderate in terms of their temperament, right? And what I have tended to find is that people who are moderate, quote unquote, I would describe as anti-committers. Okay, and this is an interesting subject. Why would somebody who is moderate in their nature be anti-commitment? And I think it could be maybe because I don't find myself very good at it, or I'm not as good at moderation. But I will say that I think even if you are a person of moderate temperament, you will tend to find, I think, it's easier to make excuses as to why things don't get done, right? It's so easy to say, oh, just a little here, just a little there, and then things will be okay. So what I'm going to advocate for is what I would recommend is all or nothing thinking here. Typically I would fight my all or nothing thinking, but I do think there's benefit here. So kind of what I think is interesting about this is that, I was listening to a video by like Jay Cutler a while ago. He was talking about, he's like, how many days a week do you go to the gym? And he's like, oh, I go to the gym 7 days a week. I've been lifting probably for almost like 10 years at this point, maybe like 13 years or whatever, something like that. And I've experimented with all sorts of different schedules. I've tried 2 days a week. I've tried 5 days a week. And nothing really ever really sticks, I guess. I find that I get like a good streak going, and then after like 2 or 3 weeks, I don't want to say like I give up or anything, but it's like, I don't know, it's really hard to say. It's just, it's like it's Saturday, you did leg day, you did it, you did some good work during the week, and then I think you kind of just let yourself go. You let yourself fall off the horse. You give yourself an excuse, a way out, right? And the thing is, it's really easy to let yourself off the horse. I think a lot of us do that. We say, oh, I made $1 million or something like that. I should just take a break, right? And this is kind of interesting because I can take a break, and there's nothing wrong with taking a break, but I am an advocate for active breaks rather than passive breaks, okay? And I think the thing is, when Jay Cutler said, I go to the gym 7 days a week, is he working out every single day? No, but he's doing active recovery at the gym to show his commitment to the gym, to the lifestyle. When you do something every day without fail, it's just easier to do. Okay, it just is. I personally find it easier. If I know I worked out the last 4 days and I work out tomorrow, I expect myself to work out day after day after day. But when I work 5 days on and I take 2 days off, my brain is like, well, take a break, go sleep, do whatever. And then Monday comes around and I'm like, man, I already took 2 days off. What's one more day gonna hurt, right? And the thing is, you're gonna slip into a habit and you're gonna fall off the horse, quote unquote. And what you're gonna do is is you're going to miss like a week at the gym or missing 4 days at the gym, and then you're not making any gains because you need a consistent effort to get great fucking results. You need to be consistent. Okay, so what I'm going to recommend, at least for me, what I'm finding is working, just do it every day. Okay, if you do it every day, do the things that you believe are the most important things that will make you progress in your life every day. I'm not suggesting that you do everything every single day simply because there's not enough time, right? There simply is not enough time in the day to do everything every single day. But the things that matter the most, reading or checking your budget or talking to your girlfriend or whatever it is you're doing every single day, then what you're going to tend to find is that it's just automatic. Okay, the more I make videos or the more you do this, the more you do that, the easier the results will come. Okay, so I'm going to challenge this notion that doing things in moderation gets you extraordinary results. I don't think people who do moderation truly get extraordinary results. Today, for example, I worked out for like maybe 2 hours, and my physique I'm probably like in like a couple weeks, I've gotten way more shredded than I did with a moderation workout. Okay. And people are like, well, you're going to burnout. I don't think so, because I think it becomes automatic. Okay. And I'm saying, guys, like right now, like the amount of progress you can make by doing something every single day is ridiculous. Okay. It's crazy. You will be surprised at how much progress you're really going to make. And I've seen the world of difference in my own physique at the gym. Just going every day, doing cardio, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, consistently, relentlessly, just doing it and destroying your workouts. It's very euphoric. So, instead of doing this moderation stuff, because I personally think people who are doing everything in moderation are afraid of hard work. I think that they're afraid. They're scared to commit. They're scared that they're going to fail. And I think that people who are saying things in terms of moderation are making excuses. There's nothing wrong with having moderation, but I think that a lot of people are misapplying moderation. Like, for example, let's say you smoke a cigar, smoke in moderation. I would agree with that, right? There's no benefit in smoking consistently. Drink in moderation. That makes sense. Eat sugar in moderation. Makes sense, right? So things that tend to be bad for you in moderation make sense. But things that will make you extraordinarily successful, reading every day, talking about business or trying to figure out, obsessively focusing on your life, I don't think that's ever going to be a negative. I really can't see how that can be a negative. If you're like relentlessly focusing on the things that you want obsessively, you're going to get it. It's inevitable, okay? Because you're just constantly just thinking about it all day, every day. It consumes you. You're just like chess, right? I'm thinking about chess all day. I'm thinking about the French defense, the King's Indian attack, all these moves. I'm calculating, and it's just inevitable. You're just going to get better. Okay. So, that's going to be my message for optimizing forward, my friends. Be extreme. Don't do moderation. Push yourself to the limits and do it daily and do it relentlessly and show no mercy to the thing that you want to accomplish. And I'll give you guys an analogy. Think of your goal as your enemy that is trying to stop you. Imagine you have 20 rounds in the ring. Are you going to just like, I'm too tired to fight my goal today or to work towards the goal? Let's just do it in moderation. Let's work on the goal in moderation. And then you quickly realize how silly that sounds. Working on my goal in moderation, that's rather ridiculous, right? Or you can be like the guy who says, oh, you know what? I'm going to work relentlessly until this goal breaks beneath my feet, and I will destroy the goal. And not only will I acquire that goal, I'm going to supersede the goal. Okay. And then we quickly see that the dichotomy between moderation versus obsessive, relentless, consistent effort, it's not even close. So do the things daily, every day, that will 10x your life, and the things that are not so beneficial, do that in moderation. But don't do everything in moderation. As David Goggins says, the people who do things in moderation are not remembered. The people who went to the extreme are remembered, because to be extreme, you have to pay a tremendous price. Okay, let me repeat that. To be extreme, you must pay a tremendous price. And if you're one of those people that's willing to pay the price, you will get results that no one else will ever get. Like with Jay Cutler, right? Can he become Mr. Olympia by moderately working out 3 days a week? Hell no. Instead, he was in the gym 4 hours a day, every day, eating like 10,000 calories a day, spending $3,000 in food a month, right? Whereas our food budget is like $500 a month. Now, he didn't care what it took to get there. He was willing to do whatever it took. And by him embracing the extreme to get the goal, you just inevitably accomplish that goal. And I think that will help you to live a more optimized life, right? You don't have to be extreme with everything, but if there's something you really want, obsessively pursue it, my friends. Have a good day.